What? What? I know you want me to break the silence, but sina kitu ya kusema. Unaniambianga nikuje kwa hiyo ofisi yako every time I come, and all you tell me is that it's okay not to be okay. It's not okay not to be okay. I don't have strength to do anything. I'm hungry, but I cannot eat. Sina appetite. You pump me with drugs, and what do you want from me? Just fix me. Just fix me.
I know how to think, Eve. And I believe everything will work out for the better. There is a point of consideration. And that is why we have to converse about it. Don't worry, you're here for the better good, and that is why I believe the audience are also here for the better good. The moment you start speaking about these conversations, that is the revelation to all of this. Take your time. It'll help soon. We have 1 hour to go. Speak yourself out. You are a representative to so many others that are out there and want a stable ground for their mental stability. All is olive. And by the way, you'll also help us to understand the context on mental health. Feel comfortable and maybe have your seat.
Thank you.
Take your time, all the best. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, it's the best moments we are having right now. We're embracing mental health conversations every time. Even as we now mark Mental Awareness Month this May, we believe that the context is all good for the betterment of the audience right here. As we embrace these conversations, it all matters, and the conversation doesn't end in the month of May. As we embrace these conversations entirely, it runs through the heart of the society. In our social workplaces and in understanding the society's view on mental health. So what are some of the beats we need to take into consideration while embracing mental health conversations? We believe that it's the start of this new particular engagement towards mental achievement. Many others out there have been conversing about this, but what are some of the angles we need to take into consideration? Everlyne is right here, who will be helping us to understand the deep ends on mental health awareness. If it affects the society, how well can we have the engagement? So being Tuesday, Health Conversation, Health Drift Check. We'll get that understanding in a bit. My name is Moses Okech. Join us as we start over the conversation. All right, what a wonderful presentation. It is Mental Health Awareness Month, May. And even as we come to the close of the month of May, we believe that the engagement has been made known. Every other person right in the heart of the society understand the elements of mental health. And you remember when I shared the poster, we had a discussion on mentally healthy. It means the society, the environment must be mentally awakened. But now Everlyne is right here. Will be helping us to understand the context on mental health. Now, allow me to read just about right here. She is Everlyne Kiragu, mental health and psychiatric nurse, KRN, KRPN. And of course, she's an actress who has done just a presentation a couple of minutes ago. Combining her passions, Everlyne Kiragu is a nurse specializing in mental health and psychiatry and an actress as well. Her work extends to being a missionary, training for St. John Ambulance, Kenya, and an active participant in the performing arts. In her role as a community health nurse, Everlyne strives to benefit her community through her involvement in health initiatives, spiritual guidance, and artistic expression. Now that's but just a detail on her. Even as we now get into the conversation, we'll want to understand how mental health matters to the heart of the society. The engagement should be made known. If you're joining us for the first time now, this is the Morning Drift Health Drift Check right here in the headquarters of Look Up Television. Even as we start the conversation, you can send in your comments, your opinions in regards to mental health. Are we mentally healthy? The conversation now strikes in the heart of the government as well. There's so much conversation that is happening in the waves of the government. But do you think also our leaders are mentally stable, are mentally healthy? As we create awareness, we are pleading that the entire situation that is happening right here in the country should also be aligned to mental awakening and mental stability. So join us till the end of the time as we converse about this, and the engagement should be made known. Sawa sawa. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you
feeling this morning?
I'm very well.
You did such an amazing presentation on mental health.
I'm an actress.
Indeed. What is the best line that you've ever done in acting?
The best line. I did a play called An Ideal Husband.
Amazing.
And the best line was when I said, men are better than women. I don't believe that, but it is not in that sense. It was just to show that every species, female and male, we are uniquely created, but also different.
All right.
Yes.
There is a podcast that runs by the name Mike Ain't Mute. There are two ladies there. There are two ladies. If you watch that podcast, you'll see that. They also support that women are better.
Women are better in their space, and men are better in their space. So it was my best line because it brought a lot of comments.
All right.
Yes.
Sawa. Thank you so much for joining us. It's an honor to have you right here.
It is
so
an honor.
let's start the conversation. Now, the month of May has been a key element in understanding mental health and the advocacy and propelling this message to the entire society and to the globe as well, because we're making this thing and embracing that there is a need for the conversation. Yes. So when you speak about mental health, what should be taken into consideration as a first hand?
Okay, I think we can start with understanding what mental health is. Going back to the WHO,
Indeed.
the World Health Organization. World Health Organization defines health as a state of well-being, physically, mentally, and socially, not just merely the absence of illness or infirmity. So for someone to say they are healthy, they need to be healthy physically, mentally, and socially. Now going to mental health, WHO says that being mentally healthy is being able to deal with life stresses, being able to work, and being able to even in the community, you can be able to participate in the community and add value to the community. So if you are able to deal with life stresses, you're able to work effectively, and you're able to contribute to the community, then we can say you're healthy. And so the opposite of that is what we call mental illness, when you cannot be able to cope, when you cannot be able to work effectively, and when you cannot be able to contribute to the community. Yes.
And the society needs also to understand this, and the community also wants this. So we are creating awareness. How does that matter?
It is very important because we have so many people walking in the streets assuming that they are okay. And it's because no one is there to actually listen to them. The simple fact that you woke up, that's a big thing. We celebrate you for waking up. Because when someone is mentally ill, it affects every area of their lives. And so it is important to talk about these things because there are people who are walking, let me call them quote unquote, walking zombies.
Indeed.
Someone,
but they're not there.
Work or two.
Indeed.
Someone comes to work and they report to work and they're smiling and you ask them, how are you? I'm fine. But if we can be able to actually talk about this and show people that when I ask you, how are you? I am literally concerned about your physical health, your mental health, and your social health. So it is very important to discuss these things so that people can be able to open up. Because if you don't talk about this, it becomes the stigmatization. So if I'm having depression, I cannot tell you. Why? Utaniita mwenda wazimu.
All right. And that is the thing that most people do, and they choose to lock themselves up because the society now perceives that this is something that is insane, and we shouldn't talk about that. you know, so they are afraid even to respond to some questions. They're feeling uncomfortable to, you know, talk it through.
Yes.
And then now the view comes in when we acknowledge that there is need for awareness. So when we create awareness now, we have a massive understanding into all this.
Yes.
You mentioned something about the workplaces, and how do we make sure that we don't go overboard? Even if you are checking up on me, to extend?
There is an aspect called workplace mental health. So in workplace mental health, we deal with 3 categories of people.
Indeed.
We have the employee, the staff in general, and the employers.
Indeed.
So as an employee, what is my responsibility? It is my responsibility to take care of myself, and it is my responsibility to take care of my staff members. So even though I'm going through life, life has its own bumps and valleys. And as much as I'm going through that, it is my responsibility to be very aware that today I'm not feeling okay. That today I have a lot of work that is stressing, that is affecting my mental status. I am feeling low, or I'm feeling highly excited. You know, that is what we call mania.
Indeed.
So I am everywhere. I'm all over the place. I am talking. Yes. And so if I don't know that, I will hurt other people.
You're right.
Or I will not be able to communicate. And so therefore, either my work will go down, what can I say it? My productivity, that's the word, the work productivity will go low. Then the staff need to be aware of themselves and also aware that they're dealing with other people. So as you were saying, it is important to talk about this, because if we can talk about this at work,
Indeed.
as an individual, I'll say that I'm not okay mentally. And so my staff will be able to understand that this patient has mental issues.
Indeed.
And then, of course, the employers. The employers, if they can be able to provide a conducive environment so that when I am not healthy mentally, I can as well be part of this community, be part of this workplace, and not feel discriminated or even stigmatized. And therefore, they can be able to even boost me up. So when I'm low,
do you think the employer does that?
There are some employers who do try. For example, there are some companies whereby they have mental health day. So during this mental health day, they have a profession come and talk to the employers, yes, the administration level, and also to the employees. So it does help because people come to understand, so even me just feeling low, it can be an issue.
Indeed.
So I can actually talk about my health at work and not be discriminated about it.
Right.
That I can actually work from home. Can I work from home? And not just, it's not like we are trying to encourage laziness. No. But
most of the employers will say that.
Yes.
Wewe kuja kazi.
Wewe unataka kukua lazy. Not necessarily. Because if I can literally have a flexible work schedule,
Indeed.
I can be able to even have my me time. The Gen Z, they are actually increasing this issue.
Of course.
That they're calling it the me time. You know, I need to take care of myself.
Indeed.
But we don't want to go beyond that or go to a point whereby we're encouraging incompetence.
Indeed.
No. What you're trying to say is we need to acknowledge that we are not robots.
Indeed.
And companies, if they need to increase productivity, they need to figure that out and actually accept it, that as employers, themselves, they need to take care of their own mental health and take care of the mental health of the employees.
But the problem now comes in when we also talk about the employer. You want to seek help to the employer or ask them something about how you feel, and you want a break or you want to work from home, as you mentioned. But now the employer also has their own stress out there, killing them inside. So how will you be able to get that out of them? Then yeye hata hawezi kusaidia because he or she is in a mess. But hata yako iko afadhali. And the only way she or he can heal is by telling you that you need just to come to work.
Just as I've mentioned, even the employers they are people. They are human
They go
beings.
through a lot.
They go through a lot. Considering they have their homes where they have to take care of, and they still need to come back and manage the company.
Indeed.
So it trickles back to communication. So in communication, we have vertical communication, whereby communication can come from the high level to the employers, which is the low level.
Indeed.
And so when communication goes that way, you'll find if the employees have issues, the employer will be able to communicate. And backwards, because we have as well upward vertical communication. So this is when now the employees can be able to communicate with the employers effectively.
Really?
So how this is possible is you ask the question, is the communication in this company flexible? Is it effective? Do we have relationships with our employers? Can I actually approach my employer? And it goes beyond work. I would really encourage friendship, because the little I've learned, because I'm very young, the little that I've learned is the solution to mental health is simply love.
Love.
And how love is shown is through kindness,
Indeed.
the small act of kindness. So let's say, for example, I'm a manager. And all I've been doing is just back orders.
Yep.
I'm like, you come to work. I don't care about your children. Your children, no. If I am on that level, and then an employee comes and talks to me, following the chain of command, of course, maybe they talk to someone who is above them, and then the communication comes to me that actually my employees have noticed that I've been kind of on edge. It will actually make me go back and look at myself again.
Indeed.
How am I dealing with my employees? Am I allowing my mental status affect my work and reduce the productivity in this company?
Wow.
So it goes back to communication.
Indeed.
And if communication is effective, now we can be able to actually show some kindness.
Indeed.
Because you never know what someone is dealing with.
I love the way you're saying that there is a need for love, and even in workspaces, of course, communicating the aspect of love and ensuring that everyone now feels accommodated. And speaking about the accommodation thing, there is a combined effort towards every staff that is working around a particular institution. But now the problem comes in also. It's not about how the boss communicates. It's not about how the colleagues communicate as well.
Yeah.
But now deep down there is also the end goal on, the pockets. Yeah. She or he is not troubled about how you communicate.
Yeah.
Even if the boss is harsh or not, it doesn't matter. What matters now at the end of the tunnel,
is money.
What will be advice on the same? Maybe it's we are nearing it's 27th. We're nearing this person feels like I know there's certain things I need to do. There the budget is extreme. I've kopeshwa nikakopesheka. So how will they handle that particular position to make sure that they're still on stable grounds?
Yeah.
After all, the money will come.
Someone said, money will never be enough.
Indeed.
You'll never have enough money. And indeed, money causes a lot of stress. You find someone amefungiwa nyumba. You find the debts are piling up.
Yeah.
Let's say this is a boss. They don't want to look bad because they are in debt and all that. So I will go back to how you take care of your mental health. Money should not, you see, when people say money does not buy happiness, and then someone will joke like, if I get a yacht, I'll be happy, but not really. Because what we need to deal with is the root cause.
Indeed.
Because you will always have issues with money. Maybe you have 100 Fuliza debt, or you have 100,000 bank debt. That's still a debt.
Indeed.
That should not be the point of, if I have 100,000 debt, I am less happy. And if I have 100 Bob Fuliza debt, niko better.
Kabisa.
Not really. Happiness is from within.
Indeed. You create your happiness.
You create your own happiness.
And that means we'll roll down to I have to work in me. I have to work for myself.
Definitely. And working on oneself is one of the most difficult things that you can do, but it's one of the most crucial thing.
Indeed.
Because what you have, what you harbor inside is what you pour out.
Indeed.
So if I have a lot of anger, if I have a lot of bitterness within me, if I let money become the source of my happiness, this means I'm always stressed out. So if you just ask me for a 50 bob, I'm like, wewe kwani ujui niko na shida? You know? So what I'm bursting out is a lot of me issue. But if I can be able to deal with that, that I can have I have so much debt, but within me, I have peace.
You're right. But before I get to ask you another question, what is the inspiration to maybe be a psychiatric nurse, or what is inspiration towards being comfortable in discussing about mental health issues?
I love mental health. I always say I am a nurse by passion, I am a nurse by profession, and I'm a nurse by calling. So what this means is I have always loved taking care of people. I think it trickles back to me being a second born. So being a second born sometimes maybe hauonekani kidogo. And so I ended up taking care of my firstborn because no one takes care of her, and also taking care of my siblings. And this extended so much with how I realized there is so much pain in the world.
Indeed.
And so this fired up my love for mental health, and noticing that mental health affects every other health.
Indeed.
Someone who has a heart condition, if their mental health is on point, their experience during that illness will be different from someone who is mentally ill. Because how you think is how your body responds. So if I think health, if I think prosperity, if I think stability, this is what people call manifestation.
Indeed.
But it's not just in the faith industry, but also scientifically.
Yep.
Because you find everything, when you look at the nervous system, it's all about communication.
Indeed.
So what I tell my mind to think is what my mind will focus on.
Indeed.
So this is what I asked myself, how can I help my community? Can I be a cardiologist? I will only help with the heart.
Indeed.
Can I be any other profession, the oncologist? These are important professions, but mental health is the center. So if someone is mentally healthy, that means you find even their entire health can be able to respond to being healthy.
Indeed. All right, so as we embrace this, we've got some few minutes to wind up the first session, and I believe you're coming in the right way to understand this mental health, and then you know, the people out there that are watching right now are also feeling the taste on the same, and there should be an easy approach towards this. Pia watu wasianze kuogopa, right?
Yes.
No. So even as we create awareness in the long run, what are some of the challenges that comes with it? Yes, maybe I'm mentally unhealthy, and you know, what are some of these challenges?
The first one is like the one I mentioned. Watu wanasema wewe ni mwenda wazimu. So just to clear that up, madness is not mental illness. Madness is a symptom.
Indeed.
And it's a disorder on its own, which we call schizophrenia. But you find that is one of the challenges. When someone thinks, if I can come forth, then people will call me mwenda wazimu. So that is a lie. You're not a mwenda wazimu. The other thing is mental illness is broad. And mental illness is not the end of life.
Indeed.
It's just a maladaptation. It's just a maladaptation. I have stress. Everyone has stress.
Indeed.
Even a baby has a stress. Akona njaa, anataka kulala. Everyone has stress.
Really?
So you understanding that you are not alone, you're not a weirdo,
Indeed.
you're not different. It's just like you're just adapting in a different way.
Indeed.
Maybe because of the environment. So it's good to know that. And also another challenge is sometimes we lack the multidisciplinary. People are not working together, including the health professionals.
Right.
It's very important to work together.
Okay.
A patient comes in, I need, even if it's nutrition, I need to even ask, what is your mental, like ask questions to do just the mental state examination.
And so many questions will come about, of course, in the second session to embrace this as well.
Yeah.
Deep down, of course, I believe we are online, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, Pacho Photography is putting us on in the best way possible across Facebook and YouTube, and also our website www.lookuptv.co.ke. So don't go too far. When we come back, we'll embrace now the conversation entirely mentally healthy. So this is the Morning Drift. Taarifa zinapochipuka na kutufikia papa hapa kwenye makao makuu ya chumba cha habari cha runinga ya Lookup, kwenye taifa, kwenye serikali, kwenye bunge, tunajitosa hadi kwenye sauti ya wenyeji ili kupata tu maoni ya wenyeji kuhusu masuala haya yanayochipuka.
Maana hii kitu inaenda kuumiza Mkenya kwa tax.
Hakuna kitu tunafurahia. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Sisi tunaumia, si ati tunaumia ile ya kiukweli. Juu maisha ni ngumu.
Na bila shaka tunapata maoni yao ili sauti yao ipate kusikika. Na watasema hili, waseme lile, watasema hiki na waseme kile, almuradi sauti yao ipate taa.
Mambo ya mafuta tena imekuwa ni changamoto zaidi kwa kila mtu wa bodaboda.
Uchumi ikikuwa stable, tunaamini mambo itakuwa sawa sawa.
Kwanza liko na ria wa boda, mama mboga nini. Hao sasa ndio wamefinywa zaidi man.
Mtazamaji, hii ni bunge la wenyeji.
Kipindi ni ukulima ni mali na Manjoro. Kumbuka hapa ndipo unajifunza mambo mengi kuhusu ukulima. Kilimo ni uti wa mgongo wa nchi, na ukiwa na Njoro unajifunza. Kumbuka, angalia mwenyewe. Tunakuambia ukitaka kujua tips za ukulima, ungana na sisi kwenye Lookup TV. Every Sunday unatukuta pale saa 10, tunakuonesha kuhusu ukulima. Ukulima wa mimea, ukulima wa ng'ombe, ukulima wa kuku, ukulima wa mbuzi na yote ambayo yanahusiana na ukulima. Kumbuka nini? Kipindi ni ukulima ni mali.
People are there to belittle you. When people are questioning you,
if you don't move fast, of course, yes, you lose it, but then it's not us to push you.
But you do not know the God who has been molding me. What has he been doing to me?
The deep and mature conversations of empowerment for you with a curious mind and an appetite for oriented conversations.
I concur with what you're saying.
You plan your finances, you can easily live without a debt.
An engaging safe space of free expression and truthfulness with an upheld vibrance, motivation and happiness.
So many children who are there, they are not living their dreams.
Join us for deep conversations with Zipporah Gashushe every Saturday from 8 p.m. The Deeper Conversations on Lookup TV. Welcome back. You're watching The Morning Drift. We are mentally healthy, and that is why we're here, just to impact lives as we create awareness on mental health. Right here in the Republic, of course, we've embraced that in the best way possible. And remember, it's not the first time we're discussing about this. It's a conversation that we've been dealing with it day in, day out to make sure that our viewers are mentally healthy, and also they have a particular environment of their mental stability. And also, as we impact them, they have this know-how also to impact the rest in their communities and in their whereabouts. Everlyne is joining us right now also to help us understand the angles on mental health. Now, there is this also aspect on mental health in institutions or in schools. So how does this conversation on mental health in school matter as well? We're also starting it on a low level. PP1 there, I'm embracing it in primary and of course in university and other walks of school. So allow us now, Everlyne, to also have this. There are students right here, either young or old, but the conversation on mental health still matters to them. Maybe they're affected in a way, but they can't speak to their parents at home, they can't speak to their teachers, and they choose maybe just to go in a confined environment and you know, cry out and speak to themselves. So when they, you know, there is this student that keeps on asking, may I go out, may I go out? But you don't know what is bothering them. Maybe their family has a crisis, they didn't eat last night. So how is mental health conversation supposed to be introduced to institutions and sana za shule?
How best to introduce mental health in institution is acknowledging that mental health is not, or it's not just like a weird topic or something that is out of reach. And so if students can be able to be told that your health matters, that you being here, you matter, that you are loved, because most students will tell you, how am I loved? Where am I loved? At home, my parents don't listen to me. And we have this conflict that comes between parents and children, just as you've stated, because you find students cannot talk, or children cannot talk to their parents, and whilst in school, they cannot talk to their teachers, because they see the teachers as teacher. This teacher will beat me, this teacher will judge me. And also the teachers will go and maybe discuss the student and come and laugh about the student.
Which they do that.
Yes. So the first thing is what we are doing currently, awareness. That mental health is something we need to take care of, and it starts with me. You take care of your own. So you be aware. Are you happy? Are you genuinely happy? What makes you happy? What makes you sad? Are you functioning at your level best? If you're getting a B, is that your best? Or can you get an A? If you're getting a D, is that your best? So not just in academics. If you're getting an A, is it a genuine thing, or are you immersing yourself into the books so that you can disappear? But are you genuinely present? What is your relationship with your friends? Do you have friends? Friends don't like me, or they bully me. That is okay. How do you take it? Do you allow it to affect you, or do you take it as an advantage? Do you listen to what they don't like? Is it something that is negative and you would like to work on it? Good. Is it your personality and you're okay with it, and that is how you are, they just don't like it? Then that is their problem. That is not your you problem. So if you can be able to accept that I am perfect the way I am, and every day, I always say this, every day we learn and relearn. So this means you're not perfect, but you are perfect. So
do you think most of the time we unlearn?
We are?
We unlearn most of the time.
Yes. Most of the time, but I think all the time we learn new things. Because whilst I'm here, I'm actually learning from you. I'm actually learning from the audience. You'll see the comments and you learn something new. There are times you unlearn some things. Someone tells, "Bebe spendangi vile unaongeanga," and I'm like, there's a time my sister told me, "Bebe uko rude," and I was like, wow, you know, and it's something I didn't see. So you can unlearn that, and also you can relearn something. Maybe you used to be kind, and then someone took advantage of your kindness, and then you turned your heart from flesh to stone.
Which they do.
Which most do. Exactly.
Apart from that, so there is aspect of how should now parents get involved to their children. Let's speak majorly on these young kids.
Yes.
Hapo Angolia primary hapo.
Yes.
You know, that is where the menace is.
Yes.
Because these are kids that are growing up and they have so many things that are running in their minds. They are starting to understand life in a particular way.
Yes.
So to make them have a particular direction, the now kids are not kama wa kitambo. You know, they have to be streamlined in a proper way. So how should parents get involved? Maybe there's a parent watching us now. Mtoto wake amemsumbua ile ya mwisho, and they want now to get involved.
Yes.
So how will they do that?
It's called parent involvement. there's something we call attachment. It's a theory that states how a baby grows. So you find if the parent is around, you don't have to always talk to me because children will be like, oh, unaongeanga sana. Not really. Are you present?
Indeed.
Can I share my thoughts with you? So if the mother is present, you'll find this child will grow up with a healthy attachment. But if the parent is not around, even when I have issues, I'll not be able to communicate. So what I can tell the parents at home is be involved in your children's life.
Every time.
Every time. And how this looks like, it's not a something to tick off the box.
Yes.
It's, are you just there? When they come from school, how are you, how was school? Just that. Every time they will be telling you, ilikuwa tu sawa, ilikuwa tu sawa. But if it becomes a norm for them, if something was not sawa, they'll be able to communicate why. There is already that channel.
But the children say that they're big people, they have grown up, you don't need to look on me, you don't need to check out. I'm an adult now.
It's because that's what we tell them. We don't let children be children.
Umekuwa mkubwa.
Umekuwa mkubwa, unalia nini wewe?
Kweli, yeah.
You know, ushakuwa mkubwa, acha usilie sana, you know, but it's important as much as we want to build a strong community, because some people are saying siku hizi tunaleta watu weak generation. Not really. We want to bring up a generation whereby I can speak and I can be strong at the same time.
Indeed.
I can cry and also be strong at the same time.
Indeed. Have you ever cried before?
Me, I cry all the time.
All the time?
Yes, I love crying.
Why?
When I'm happy or when I'm sad, I think I just have a lot of tears. Yeah.
So you use them, utilize them.
I utilize them.
Indeed. All right. So because some people are very strong that they can't even cry. At the Wambie Nini, they can't cry. And now with the awakening, of course, of social media, in the elements of what we watch. We want to embrace what we see in the internet, in the movies we watch, in the series we are provided with. That I want that kind of life. I want to embrace this. But because where you stay, where you live, you can't. You can't achieve that.
Yeah.
So it now distracts your mind, even how you interact with people.
Yes.
Also, speaking about social media, of course, Becky, Sarah asks, what are some effective ways young people can manage stress and protect their mental health in today's fast-paced, social media-driven world? To that angle, what will be your view?
Back to what I said. Take care of you. Look at yourself as you are and accept yourself and love yourself. Be kind to yourself. So how this looks like is, can I afford a 1,500 dress or can I afford a 500 dress? I can afford 500 and I am happy with that. So when I go to social media and they're talking about the 1,500 dresses, I am okay. You know? What am I looking at? What is my vision? Historia umechelewa. You know? You don't have a car, umechelewa. You're not doing this, umechelewa. No. It's always going back to me. Am I doing my level best? Because some of the times, social media can be positive and negative at the same time. On the positive level is whereby we find quotes that help us, what are they called? The reminders, the motivations that you're enough and all that. It is very important, and also we can be able to see testimonials. I can see someone, you see these stories whereby I went through depression and I was able to come out of that. So when I consume such content, I am encouraged that I can actually follow through this. There are some health professionals who actually take their time and post productive and very good content that can actually help people even at home.
Amazing.
But on the negative side as well, it can affect them because we start now comparing ourselves.
Comparison now kills it all.
Comparison kills it all.
You know, you want to mash up the place every time they see you.
Yes.
How you dress up, how you communicate.
Yes.
Which now kills the.
Exactly. And also self-diagnosis. So you read a story and then you go like, oh, hiyo ni mimi. By the way, mimi niko na depression. Ama mimi niko na schizophrenia. No, that is not you. You know.
But there are some shoes when you wear mostly. I don't want to talk about that. But in the meantime, let's now embrace support system. You have your parents there, you have your community there. There are people you can talk to.
Yes.
So how should the people build their support system to make sure that they have a proper embrace towards healthy minds?
Support system is very, very important. And it's something, sad enough, it's falling because kila siku hizi, kila mtu ako like, me and me, me for me.
Yeah.
But when you talk about the social support systems, we have two forms of support systems. We have the formal support system and we have the informal support system. So the formal is whereby now you can talk to a health professional, get a psychologist, or a psychiatrist or any mental health professional. This can actually assist you.
Indeed.
The other formal is whereby we have the conferences whereby you attend. You can have the helplines, like 911. We have different for mental health, but 911 can actually direct you to specific. If it's suicide, if it's rape cases, whatever kind of issue, 911 is one of the best helplines to go through. Those are the formal ones. Then the informal ones is the ones that you've mentioned. Your parents, family, your friends. The other informal one is the community. Do you have a community that you interact with? Is it a spiritual community? Is it a hobby that you're doing? So these support systems are very key to improve your mental health.
And I know they're very key as far as the family is concerned.
Yes.
I was engaging last week with some couple of people in terms of understanding the support system in regards to their family.
Yes.
That there are people that find it very easy to speak to a friend, to speak to someone, make a call, embrace this. But now when they see their dad calling or their mom calling, boom, burani chok, they don't want to pick this call.
Yes.
So do we, what is the alignment to that?
I will not advocate for cutting off people.
It's not cutting off. They just feel, not the time, tutongia baadaye.
Yes. It's sad enough that the family aspect, it's nika inaenda ikiisha.
Okay.
That is why we say these days strangers are more family than actual families. But it goes back to love and kindness, because if we embrace that, it is important.
Indeed.
If you're at a very critical state and friends are benefiting you more than family, please go to the friends.
Indeed.
And take care of yourself and be healthy. Now, when you're healthy, do not cut off your family. Come back and deal with it. Because I believe this session, it's not just for the children.
Indeed.
Children are watching, and even parents are watching.
Of course.
Because parents, their hearts are breaking because children are running away from home.
Yep.
Siku hizi mtoto wangu aniongeleshi.
Right.
Na watoto wako like, mimi siwezi ongelesha mamangu. I have an African mother. What do you say? What are you telling me? An African mom will just atachukua kiatu anigonge aniambie, you're becoming weak. But if we can go back and educate our community, because our parents grew up differently than us. They were taught to take care of themselves. Sindio?
Yep.
But now it's different. For us, we need to actually go back to them and tell them, by the way, mom, I always appreciate when you listen to me.
Of course.
And then the mom will be like, oh, so that's a thing. And then the mom will start listening.
Indeed. Now, there is the aspect now on the foundations, the institutions, the organizations, and above all, the Ministry of Health needs to come in handy to embrace these conversations. And that is why I'm happy that we're marking this and we are communicating about this.
Yes.
The government also knows, the ministry also knows about these conversations. So in your own space, from the experience that you have, what more should be done by the Ministry of Health to ensure we have a stable ground in communicating mental health?
I'd say more action than talk. There's a lot of very important talk in regards to mental health. We've had the annual conferences that have been held. We had the first one and now we are having a second one this year.
Indeed.
These are very good things. These are very effective things, and we're involving the professionals around this. We're talking about suicide. We have the World Suicide Days. We have, all these things. We are talking about all these things. They are very, very important. But now I would say it's more actions and less. When it comes to mental health, I'd advise people to be selfless as much as possible. Because if you plan a conference and your main agenda for that conference is not to help the community, but to help self, you find it will not be effective.
You build your organization.
Building the organization and all that, it's not helpful. I would call out people. My specialty is actually mental health and spirituality.
Amazing.
I believe there is a correlation between that.
Get us to the spirituality before I forget. You know, in the aspect of the religion is coming in, in the space and killing so many minds at some point, but also building other minds.
Yes.
A couple of days ago, we were discussing about religion as well, and you know, understanding spiritual walks.
Yes.
I don't know if you watched that episode.
I did.
But there is also this now spirituality as far as mental health is concerned. Yeah, let's not get confused.
Yes. So
what is your take?
There is a correlation. You find religion and spirituality do affect the mental health of a person. It will influence the experience of the person, the journey, and it can also even affect their health, both positively and negatively. If someone is not stable, we'll have something, and a good example is religious delusions. So someone is like, God told me, God told me, God told me this. I have a case, I have a patient who was talking about this. But now knowing how to differentiate, is this person mentally ill or is this person spiritually awakened? You know, awakened or
okay.
So it's something, but it is there. It's even in the DSM. DSM is the manual that we use to diagnose patients. So in the DSM-4, it was recognized under the religion or spiritual problems. And in the DSM-5, it's also under the cultural formulation.
All right.
Why is this important? Every individual is unique in their own way.
In their own way.
So when you come to my office and I talk to you, I can speak jibba jabba about science, but I need to know you. What's your culture?
Indeed.
What do you believe in? What are your beliefs? What are your values? What are they based on? So if those things can affect you positively, I will encourage you to pursue that.
All right.
But if I see your beliefs are the ones that are leading you to illness, I'll be able to bring you back on the path.
When you speak about spiritual, mental healthy, I'm thinking about these big churches. You know, the society, maybe the leadership doesn't know about their congregation. Once the service is done, then kila mtu njia ya kwake, you know. And I love these churches that ziko na home cell. Home cell groups, I don't know, they want to engage with people, you know. That is so perfect to make sure that they know they are. But these other churches that, like, you know, despite the fact you don't care about me. We come church, we prayed, then it's all. I believe we'll have that conversation as well. As far as spiritual, mentally healthy is concerned. But now as we come to the bottom line, you've ever had any testimonials that you felt like, hey, now this one touched my soul?
Yes. I think one that always motivates me, and I've told so many people, is a case I dealt with while I was doing my practicum at Mathare Hospital. So I met this client. He had been admitted and readmitted again and again on substance abuse. And then when he was discharged, I met him along the road. And luckily, he recognized me. And the first thing he asked me was, Doki sasa, sunisaidie 20 bob ninunue pale fegi. So translating is that, give me a 20 bob, I go and get a cigarette. That broke my heart, literally, because I was like, so what did we do?
Indeed, what did you
all those months this patient was with us, in the clinics, you know, and in the wards, what exactly did we do? So this is just a call to all mental health professionals that after a patient has walked, we usually have phases of treatment. So when you go to the last phase of termination, I need to ensure that I have actually, my patient has understood and they're making efforts to getting better.
Indeed.
And not just admitting and discharging, admitting and discharging.
Sawa.
Yes.
I wouldn't like to end this conversation without speaking about the context of relationship and the bonds and the engagement. You know, so many minds have been blocked, or, you know, they've been distracted because of relationships. And, you know, committing oneself to, we're in the spaces of love. So how will we balance this and, you know, have a balanced mind?
Character development, indeed.
Okay, you've ever received that?
Yes.
Okay, so how will we balance that as far as relationship is concerned?
How you balance that? Again, going back to self.
Kama umpendi.
No, jipende kwanza.
Okay.
Jipende kwanza. Because if you can take care of yourself, you'll be able to notice when someone is not taking care of you.
All right.
And you'll be able not to overcompensate when someone takes care of you.
Unless you don't know how to take care of yourself.
Exactly. If you don't know how to take care of yourself, if I've never told myself, baby, if I love you, if someone tells me I love you, I will give you my car, I'll give you everything that I own.
Okay.
So it goes back to taking care of ourselves, and I encourage kindness. Every one of us is on the path of finding true love and finding people to take care of them and all that. Be kind.
Indeed.
Be kind to yourself, and anyone you find to love. I tell this to my brother: be kind even if they're not kind. You'll meet people who will give you proper character development. Yes, but what I want you to learn from that situation are only the positives.
All right.
Be like a kichungi. You see how a kichungi looks like? Ukiweka chai inachunga vitu. So take the positives and let the negatives. Learn something. There's that every relationship teaches you something.
Indeed.
It teaches you something about yourself.
Indeed.
And teaches you something about the world. That the world is evil, but also it teaches you that the world is good.
Okay.
So take the good.
Please, Dante, get ready for the last presentation that Everlyne will have in a couple of minutes. We have at least 4 minutes to wind up the entire conversation. And, I'm feeling calm that we're speaking about this, and it's like a session. If you look at the environment, even Sarah feels motivated, so it's all good. So as we get to the bottom line, after these questions, you'll just come here after this question, then you do the last presentation, and then you after that presentation you also tell us how can we get your services and more of. There is someone watching us right now, is mentally unhealthy, has problems with the dunia yote, and now needs help. What is the one word or some few lines you'll tell them if there's a parent that is confused? So how will you allow them to get into that space of balanced mind and get a sense of commitment?
Okay. That's a question.
Right.
I thought when we come back.
Okay.
But yes, anyone who is watching me,
it's all right.
What I can tell you is you are worthy. You are indeed worthy.
Amazing.
You are worthy, and you're not just here by mistake.
Indeed.
So be kind to yourself. The season that you're in, life is about times and seasons. So every season comes with its own lessons and with its own positives. Take the positives, be kind to yourself, and be kind to others.
All right.
You never know what it will return to.
Amazing. Say, you heard that, I believe. So you can just walk in here and do the presentation. Then, of course, we'll see the betterment of this particular mentally healthy. And I believe every engagement matters to all of us. It is 55 minutes past 9 a.m. Even as Everlyne Kiragu does the last presentation, we believe that we've achieved it in the best way possible. So thank you so much to all our mental health awareness advocates, including my director, King Dantimax, and of course, Kamefera, Jamistical Matic, and of course, my graphics guy, Thomas, and Pacho Photography and Skokolo, Santeni Sana, for making this happen. And of course, our visual, guru right here, Sarah. That was nice, She's mentally healthy. That is why she is giving good shots.
And she's doing an effective work.
Right. Do you think?
Yes. So we talked about the church. And I think, just like Moses had mentioned, I am an actress. And we are having a show that will unravel the secrets of the church and also the state. So karibuni sana at Kenya National Theatre this weekend on 31st and 1st.
Indeed.
We have 2 shows per day. So how to get this? Go to www.igizaarts.co.ke and just select Eve. Utanipata hapo. So you just come to our show and see and tell us if the church is helping us or it is not helping us.
Good.
So on that state, I presented something for my girls. I advocate for women empowerment. I'm not a feminist, I have to say that on camera, but I advocate for strong women. So this is for the brave women out there. Hey girlies, I only have the liberty to speak as a woman because I am one. I ain't no man. I am a woman. Who was that sang If I Were a Boy? Yes, Beyonce. How misunderstood we are, or maybe that's what we think. I don't know. I don't care. I am a woman, a proud woman. I celebrate you. I celebrate you, darling, the battles that you fought, silently, quietly, lonely. I celebrate you for the smiles you share, for the love you share, for the love you give to others even when they don't give back, for the times you felt like crying but you could not because maybe people were watching you, strangers, colleagues, or even was it your kid who was there? I'm sorry about that. There are people who expect you to be the strongest, the wisest, the wealthiest, the funniest. In short, perfect. But you are doing your best. I celebrate you. You are a woman, a brave woman.
Good job. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was nice. Mentally healthy. It's 57 minutes past 9 a.m. We've managed to embrace Mental Health Awareness Now May, and still the conversations rolls down the entire and many years to come, because we need a stable grounds for the environments to have this well achieved. So thank you so much. Join us tomorrow on Social Wednesday. We'll be having an engagement on mentorship. Perfect mentorship right here. Of course, our men organization will be joining us and to understand the impact as well. So we're doing good. This is Look Up Television and this is the Morning Drift. Of course, watch all our social media platforms, that is on Facebook and YouTube at www.lookuptv.co.ke. See you then. My name is Moses Okech, mentally healthy.